Hi rates, in this video I'm going to show you how to thread your Manina sewing machine. First of all, you will need this for your booklet. I need to draw on how to thread your machine. You'll always have that then with you when you're sewing your boxer shorts in case you can't remember. You can always refer back and watch this video again if you forget or forget a certain section of how to thread. Let's get started. So the first thing you always need when you're threading a machine is to collect 4 items. The first item being some thread, the second one a bobbin, the third one a pair of scissors, and the fourth one a bobbin case. You also need to make sure you've set up your machine accurately and that you've got yourself into a comfy position. Let's get started. First of all, the thread goes on top of the spool pin up the top here. It then comes around across the sewing machine and behind the thread guide at the top here. Not the circular one, it is more of a pointy rectangle shape. Your thread then comes down the front of your machine and comes under the other thread guide from right to left. So the opposite to how you normally read, from this side of the machine under to this side, and loops up again. We're now going to bring it through the take-up lever, again from right to left. So right to left, and then pull it down. You need to make sure that the take-up lever is on what I call the corner of the sewing machine here. If it's not in the right spot, if it's too high or too low, just use your hand wheel to move it to get into that corner position. It will be much easier to thread. With my pink thread now, when I pull it down, you should be able to see that there is almost like a giant N shape, like a capital N. You always must have that N, otherwise your machine won't work effectively. I now need to use the thread hook. So I simply tuck my thread behind the hook and it is now ready to thread through the needle. In order to thread it, I always like to trim the end of the thread to make sure that it's nice and crisp. And then from front to back through the tiny hole in the needle. Again, if your needle is not in the right position, you can move it using the hand wheel if you need it higher or lower. Making sure at this point your machine is not turned on and your foot is not on the pedal because you don't want to accidentally sew your finger. So from front to back, through the needle. Sometimes it takes a little while, sometimes you do it really quickly. There we go. Whoop. There we go. So I've just gotten it through the needle from front to back, and I'm now going to tuck it under the presser foot using a small slot. There is a slot in the presser foot, so I push the thread through so it can come under and out to the side. That is step 1. That is our top thread done. So from the top, thread guide down, under, up, down, hook, needle, out. Step number 2, we need to use our bobbin and bobbin case. So we now have the bobbin and the bobbin case. You need to sit the bobbin into the bobbin case and gently tug the thread to check what direction your bobbin is spinning in. It needs to be clockwise. If you can't remember what way that is, watch the clock hands and see if your bobbin is spinning the same way. When you have it in the correct position, I want you to hold your bobbin case in your hand with this bit pointing upwards. This is like an arrow, the pointy bit that must be up. Using your thread, we have a slot in the side of the bobbin case here. You need to gently pull your thread up through that slot so that it eventually comes out of the hole at the top here. So my thread is now coming out through there. My bobbin case is ready to put into the machine. I now need to flip it over, and without letting the bobbin fall out, there is a handle. I'm going to hold the handle and open the case here, and my bobbin clips in, providing that this is pointing up. You'll feel it sort of click in, and if I try and wiggle it, it won't spin around. That's how I know it's ready to go. So that's step 2. bobbin into the bobbin case, clockwise into the slot, up, out through the hole, click it in using the handle, sticky up bit pointing up. Now we have the final step. It's important not to forget step 3, otherwise you're going to have to rethread and do it all again. At this point you need to hold with your left hand the top thread that started up here, that's going through the needle. So you need to hold that one. And with your other hand, you need to use the hand wheel down towards you and watch the needle go all the way down, all the way up. And I now need to tug this thread on the side. And what I will notice is that I can now see 2 threads. So I need to pull them both through. And now my threads are ready for actual sewing. So I can close this over and I now have 2 threads. If I need to trim them, there is a trimming device just on the side. Now my thread's not too long and it's ready to go. Always remember before you sew to check your width, check your length, and then off you go. Good luck.